Hello. Welcome back to Smut and Stockinette. Thank you so much for returning. If you are back and a subscriber, thank you so much. If you are new, you're in for a treat because today we're talking about the 91 series that I am currently in the middle of. So buckle up, get a drink because you're gonna probably need it. I am attempting the screen record again, so I'm gonna put that, I think, make me small, maybe, editing Jess, hopefully that works. So I'm going to be talking about the 91 series that I am in the middle of. Holy crap. That is also, at the start of 2025, I was only in, I was only reading 87, and now we're up to 91, but it's fine. We're not going to stress about that. I will link this tracker in the comments below. I did get it from another YouTuber. I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but I will link it below in case you're curious. I do use this for my series overview, which is the screen that we are looking at now. And this includes series that I've finished as well. But I made this little buddy here, and this has the progress of all of the series that I'm currently in the middle of, and it's got a little bit of a color coordinated system, so we're going to chat a little bit about that. So up here, if it's like this dark gray, it is a completed series, meaning that it is not currently being published in, so like, I don't know how to explain that in a different way. It's not currently, like, new books are not coming out for that series that we know of. Who knows? If they are underlined, it means I already have the book and it's on my Kindle. This is more so for series that are not part of Kindle Unlimited. If it's italic, it means that we've gotten the title of the book. It's been announced, but it is still unreleased, just so I can kind of visually see oh, the books that I have to read from this series are unreleased. So I don't have to worry too much about that. And then obviously the next part is pretty self-explanatory. I started reading as an adult in 2021. And so I have kept track of the years in which I read each thing. And you'll see as we go down, those colors coordinate with the books in the series. If you're wondering, hey, Jess, there's a lot of series that were only read in 2021. Thanks for noticing. So let's go ahead and start at the tippy top here. The first series that I started that I have not finished, because I do have this same thing, but with completed series. So I did complete several series in 2021, but not all of them, and that's fine. So let's go ahead and just briefly chat about the series that are on here. And then I have you've probably seen this kind of trend going around, which is completing all the series that I'm in the middle of. It's a big booktube trend right now, and your girl will be jumping on that trend. So that'll be coming in the future. But for now, let's just talk about the mess that I'm already in. So the first series that I am pretty sure is completed at this point is Monsters and Muses. This is by Savar Miller, I believe. I read Sweet Sin, which is the prequel, and then Promises and Pomegranates, which is the first book in the series. And then I have all of these other books to continue on. It's fine. This series is dark romance, and it's loosely based on Greek gods. The first book was a Persephone type of vibe. But I have not continued at all. The Boys of St. Augustine series. The series is not completed. I don't know that this author will ever complete her series, honestly. This is by R. Holmes. She has rebranded as Marin Moore, and I don't know that she'll ever go back to this series because it was a darker series, and she is now writing more sports and rom-coms and things like that. But I'm still holding out hope. I'm holding out hope that maybe eventually she will decide to go back to that world, but who knows what will happen. The next is The Four series by Becca Steele. I don't know that I'm actually going to continue this series. I haven't totally decided that I'm not going to continue the series. It does take place, I'm pretty sure they were in high school, which is meh, whatever. But I have a prequel novella that I haven't read, and then technically book 3 that I didn't read. I skipped it and read the Christmas one. I don't know why. It's fine. But this is a completed series. It is a little bit darker, and it does have some like an underlying like suspense plot type of thing going on. So we'll see. The Boys of Claremont Bay. This is by Holly Renee. Before she became the fantasy queen that she is right now. I read the first book in 2021, and then I believe I reread the first book and then read the second book in 2022, and then I read 2 of them in 2023, and then 2024 I didn't read any of them. So I have 2 more to complete there. This one is like the first 2 books like are the same couple. The second 2 books are the same couple. I don't know if the last 2 books are the same couple. So yeah, but it takes place. Are they also in high school? I was really into high school in 2021, apparently. I do not remember if they were high school. I think they are high school. I'm like 99% sure. But they're like, it's like basically the OC in book form. Drama, all that good stuff. The Souls Trilogy by Harley LaRue. This is a completed series. I just have Soul of a Witch left. I actually got the arc of this, and then I was in the hospital when I finished Her Soul for Revenge, and I don't know that I was in the right headspace to continue for Soul of a Witch, but I do want to complete that one, so that's definitely on the list. Next is The Losers. So originally The Dare was a standalone, but then Harley LaRue got so much feedback that people loved these characters. So she wrote Losers Part 1, Losers Part 2. It is reverse harem, or white shoes, which I don't historically enjoy, but I might give it a try, and just see. But yeah. The new series is by Chelsea something. I don't remember her last name, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure that this book has been like pending release for several years and it has never come out, so I don't know if it actually ever will. I need to decide like if there has been like no book published and like no movement on it for like a certain number of years, that I just like take it off my series list, because eventually I just forget that they exist. So yeah, we'll see. The Heaven and Hell series. This is a shared world series. It has a bunch. I'm pretty sure JL Beck and C. Hallman are part of it. But it is based around Heaven and Hell, which is like a sex club. And I've read Heaven and I've read Hell, and now I'm on to the rest of these. But it is not super interconnected. They just like are a shared world, and I believe they are all novellas, so they're like under 200-ish pages. Next we have Zodiac Academy, which I believe is now completed, so I could probably change that to like the completed series color. I need to go back and like read it again because I only read the novella, which I don't even think you're supposed to read anymore in the beginning, and then The Awakening, and so I definitely need to reread those so that I can actually get into the series, because I know so many of you enjoy it. I'm gonna scroll for a minute, so I apologize. Okay. Verfallen Asylum. So I read Cute But Psycho, had the best time. Apparently it is part of a series. There are supposed to be 3 books. I haven't heard anything about either of them, but I'm holding out hope because Cute But Psycho was a great time. I'll put the covers somewhere so that you can see them, because I'm not always going to remember the author name, and I don't want to be like swiveling around and making you all sick. The Dirty Heroes collection is again a shared world series. It is all like dark fairy tale retellings. I read The Black Fox, and I just have not gotten through the rest of them. Skeleton King is actually what made me want to read this series, because it's apparently like a Jack Skellington something. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. But I've only read the first book, so crushing it. Next is the One Night series. I do know this is by Dana Isley. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly. Games We Play was super hyped back in the day, and I've read 2 more of that series, and I have 2 more to go. So definitely, and those I believe are also novellas, so should be easy to crush. I just have to do it. Lancaster Prep. I do not remember the author, so I apologize. But Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did. I loved that book. I had a great time with it. I did not realize that all these other books were part of that series until I made the series tracker, and I was like, oh, I see. So I definitely would like to get back to that world as well. The Ravenhood series, I read Flock back in 2021, and then I attempted to reread Flock in 2024 and failed. So I do probably want to reread Flock so that I can finish this trilogy. And if you're like, hello, there is also One Last Rainy Day, or whatever the heck it's called, that is actually not part of the series. That is a separate series. That is a spinoff. So it's not on this list because it doesn't belong there. But yes, I am aware that that book exists. Okay, next we have the Nick and Holly series. This one, it started as Dipped in Holly, which was like a Christmas book. This is also by Dana Isley. And then Claimed by Cupid was like a Valentine's story about the same couple, and then it just kind of went on from there. But these are novellas, so shouldn't be too terrible. I just need to read them. That's it. Rogue County MC. I do not remember a ton about this one, but it is a motorcycle club. I started in 2022. I was definitely in that camp where I was just downloading all the free shit, and then like now I've got all these series because the free shit was always like a novella or like book one or whatever, and now I've got all these things, but it's fine. But I don't want to DNF the series until I give it more of a chance, so it's still there. Next we have the All of Me series, which is I believe it's Siobhan Davis, and this, hold on, should have another book in it. There we go. Now we're synced up. Hold on, sorry. Okay, here we go. There are 2 novellas that are part of this series now. I read book 1 back in 2022. It had a crazy ending, and I didn't pick up the next book because I'm the problem. It's fine. But I would like to get back to that trilogy turned series with the novellas. Next we have The King's Reaper. Also similar situation. It was probably a free novella that got me in there, and now I just want to read some of the main series to see if it is a series that I will enjoy. After the graphic novel, from what I see online, like the other installments of this graphic novel have been like published in other countries, but not in the US yet. I don't know. But there are these titles that are floating around on the internet. Also don't know if those are accurate, but we have that there, and no new installments at this time. I do also have a Tangled Sheets anthology because I've read almost all of the like the stories in there, but I do have 2 left, so I have it on here to kind of just remind me to read it, basically. Walker Security Lucifer's Trilogy. Again, I don't remember, and I'm so sorry. The Therapist, I do remember this one. This one is written by a man. I don't want to butcher his name. W.S. Greer, I believe. I actually really enjoyed The Therapist. It is completely from the male POV, and I would like to continue in that series because I think he'll be an author that I really actually enjoy. So definitely want to continue. Let's go ahead and scroll a little bit. I have The Strangers in Love. As far as I can tell, this is still a duet. I read Beauty and the Baller back in 2022. Princess and the Player is on my very soon TBR, so hopefully I will have that one crossed off quickly. But these ones, it is a duet, and as far as I know, the audio is included on Kindle Unlimited at the time of recording this video. If it is right now, I don't know, but it was today. Of course, we have ACOTAR. We have speculation that there are going to be 7 books, but there is no information about those at this time. It seems like there may be some information coming later this month, but I don't know. Another motorcycle club series. I probably got a novella from something, and I've started it, but never continued. This, Falling for the Rock Star, I read, and it was rumored that it was going to become a duet, but I have not seen anything about the sequel, so who knows if that'll actually happen. The Sugar and Spice series, I just have these 2 other ones. I believe these were all novellas. I think One Night Only might have been in an anthology that I read, and that's where I got that one and then continued the series in 2022. I was trying so hard, but I was failing. The Here's Two series. This is by Tegan Hunter. It is a small town series. I really enjoyed her texting series, which I did already finish, so it's not on here. But I have not continued that series yet. The Graffiti Street Bad Boys. I believe these were novellas, but I have not. Are you sick of me saying I've not continued the series yet? Because same, girl, same. Next we have The Fallen Men by Gianna Darling. I read Out of Sight back in 2022, and I actually read Lessons in Corruption earlier this year, so shout out to me. But I need to continue the series for sure, because that's as far as I've gotten. I also feel like this might have been released, but I don't know. Or not necessarily released, but the title maybe. Anyway, doesn't matter. Club Chrome, this time it is a trilogy, and I read book 1 in 2022. Alex Drake, this is a big old series. Again, I read book 1 or the novella and have never continued. Jungle Oasis, this one follows a woman who like gets stranded in the jungle, and she like stumbles upon like this encampment where this man is like doing like medical things on people, I'm pretty sure. I should probably get back to that series and finish it. The problem is, and y'all, you guys identify with this, obviously, because you're readers and you're probably like, yeah, I have a spreadsheet too, and it's just as bad as yours. You forget the things that you know about the series when you take forever to read them. And that's the biggest downfall, I think, that we all have. And then you got to reread it. Like, you got to reread book 1 to continue the series, and you just never want to reread things. And so the vicious cycle continues. We have the Touch of Taboo series by Katie Robert, I think. I read Your Dad Will Do in 2022 and have not continued the series. Also, partly because of all the titles, if we're being honest. But it's fine. We're fine. I've got the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I've read The Deal and the Mistake in 2022 and 2023, and then did not continue, but I want to. We have the Massacred Dreams series. I believe this was another situation where I read like that first book or that novella in a anthology of some kind and then never continued the series. Are we sick of me? Yes, we're sick of me. I have the Duet by Jennifer Hartman. I read Aria, but I never read Coda. Why? It is literally 2 books, girl. Just read them both. It's fine. Next, we have the Graves Glen series, which I was always called the XX series up until literally today when I went and looked, and it had been changed to Graves Glen. I read the XX, but then I've heard really bad things about the Kiss Curse and the Wedding Witch, and so I've had no desire to continue. But I should at least give it a try. The Twisted series by Anna Huang. I don't think anything will ever top Twisted Games, but I have heard a lot of people say that Twisted Lies is one of their favorites as well. So definitely excited to get to that one. We have the Hot and Hammered series, which I believe is Tessa Bailey. I could be wrong. I read Fixer Up, and then we still have a couple more in there. We've got the Dreamland Billionaires trilogy. I read the first 2 books in the same year, and then I just didn't read any more in 2024. I really need to get better about that. The Dare Nation. I'm pretty sure... Oh, is it this one where he's a musician? No, I feel like I finished that one. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. This was a series that was like one of the ones that was always available on my Hoopla, and so I read most of them. The Beautiful series by Jamie McGuire, I believe. Beautiful Disaster, Walking Disaster, and A Beautiful Wedding. I've read all of those. I hated A Beautiful Wedding. I found Abby to be very insufferable in that book. But I do want to finish the Beautiful series so that I can go to the Maddox Brothers, whatever. So we'll see. Orleans University. This was originally a trilogy, but there is a novella. Thank you. You said nothing, but it's fine. There is a novella, so I actually am reading this currently. We have the Ciccone brothers. Somehow I read book 3 it's fine. It's fine. I need to go back and read the rest of that series. We have Central Valley U. This is by L.K. Farlow. I read Sweet Little Nothing, and I still have 2 left in the series. The Elixir series is by Hilary Duff. I read book 1 last year, actually like January of last year. I definitely need to get back to it before I forget everything that's happened. But it is like a reincarnated, like, so it's got like, I guess fantasy, but it's kind of like magical realism. Like, it's not a fantasy world, like it's a modern world, but there's like fantastical elements, I guess, magic, whatever. Anyway, onward. The Kane Brothers series, this one is by Megan Quinn. I read A Not So Meet, excuse me, when I talk a lot, my like body's like, you need to breathe. The Kane Brothers, I read A Not So Meet Cute. It was cute. But I've heard that the other books in the series are a little bit better, so I'm excited to continue that one. The Christmas Notch series, this one is by, is it Sierra Simone? Is it? And I'll put the cover somewhere. I can't think of her name right now. She wrote Dumplin'. I can't think of her name. I read the first 2 books in the series for book 1, and then the second one was like a novella. And then they are releasing like 1 in July and like 1 in December each year. That was kind of like the trend for a bit. And I have just not caught up yet because reading books at Christmas time I'm terrible about. It's fine. Next, we have the Stage Dive series. I read Lick last year, and I still have more in the series. This is a series that's not in Kindle Unlimited, or at least it wasn't, so I have to, like, do the library wait bitness. It's fine. We have the Empyrean series. Don't yell at me. I know, I haven't read Iron Flame or Onyx Storm yet, but it's fine, because we have till, like, 2027 for book 5 or 4 or whatever, so it'll be fine. I've got plenty of time. Don't stress. I'll get there. Also, ride Zayden. It's fine. Next we have the Dirty Deeds series. I actually really enjoyed both books in this series that I've read so far. I do need to continue. Again, it is not on Kindle Unlimited, so I do have to do the library dance with it, which is part of the reason I haven't continued. Then I started the Beautiful Bastard series. I found Christina Lauren in 2024, and I don't love this series, if I'm being really honest, and it's also very long, and it's also not on Kindle Unlimited, so I just have not gotten back to it, because I'm not loving it, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Next, we have The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I read The Cheat Sheet and enjoyed it. I do have the rulebook. I actually just got my hold for it from the library, so maybe I'll get to complete that. And as far as I know, it is just a duet at this time. Next, we have the Gaming the System series. This is about a gamer girl, and it's very fun. I read Girl Geek, which is like the prequel novella, where you get to set up for at any price. She's selling her virginity online. It's fine. Whatever. It's cool. It's fine. Next we have the Shatter Me series. You've probably heard about this one. I read Shatter Me and Destroy Me last year. This is one that's very hard to find in ebook unless you purchase it. So I'm struggling a little bit. I used to be able to get it through the library, and now I can't, which is unfortunate. Maybe it's just my library. I don't know, but it's not fun. Next we have the Don't Let Me series. This is by Kelsey Ray. I've read the first 3 books in the series, and I only have 2 to go. I was crushing the series last year, like just hauling on it. But Let Me Love You, my bestie Sabrina did not love, so I'm scared, for being honest. Valley of the Old Gods. This is a bunch of books about like being with supernatural things, like the Easter Bunny. So I'm sure I'll get back to it, but takes a certain mood, you know? Same with Holly Gets, ... We read Elfed in December, and Corked, I believe, was like a New Year's, and Crushed is pending release. But again, just straight up smutty novellas. I also started the Devil's Night series last year. I believe this is Penelope Douglas. I have not continued on in the series, but it is like a darker, romance series, so interesting. The Bonds That Tie, a very popular series. It is romantasy and I believe Why Choose, although book 1 is not super Why Choose, which is probably why I didn't hate it. But I'm going to continue the series and see how it goes. She is bonded to 4 men, and they all have special powers. So I think the fantasy helps with the Why Choose for me personally. Next is the Clifton Forge series. This is by Devney Perry. I read book 1 and had a great time, and then I started Ribbon Night, and then I never finished it. My friend Victoria read the entire series in 1 week because I told her to, and then I didn't follow through, so my bad. Whoopsie, sorry. Next we have the Bishop Rituals duet. I read Step Devil last year, and Step Devil 2 I have not read yet. Probably because it's called Step Devil 2, and it sounds like a terrible horror movie. But it's fine. The Checkmate series, I read Pawns in the Bishop's Game in 2024, and there is plenty of series left to be had. Book 1, you're following our main character who he's involved with like a drug trade situation, so I'm guessing that the rest of the series will have something similar going on. But I don't know, if we're being honest. Next is the Meant to Be series. As far as I can tell, this is still ongoing. There is a book coming later this year. This is all like fairy tale retellings. I read If the Shoe Fits. It was so cute. Had a great time. It is also a series that, like, all the books are written by different authors. Tangled Up in You, you've probably seen. That one's by Christina Lauren. By the Book is like a Belle one, and Belle is my jam, but I'm scared, but it's fine. So hopefully I will enjoy that one and be able to continue the series this year. Yarn and Monsters is smutty novellas about crocheted stuffed animals that come to life. Specifically, Corny is a crocheted candy corn hooker who comes to life. You're welcome. 1,000 Boy Kisses. I read the first book last year. It is technically a duet. I don't know if I will want to read the next one. I didn't love 1,000 Boy Kisses, and I'm sorry, Sabrina, that I have to keep telling you that I didn't love it. But hopefully I'll give it a try and see how it goes. I hate DMFing series after the first book. I just feel like that's not fair, unless I like absolutely hated it, which I didn't absolutely hate 1,000 Boy Kisses. Anyway, let's move on. The Mason Jar series is also by Devney Perry. I read The Birthday List last year, and Letters to Molly is like a spinoff about her brother. And so I'm curious about that one. I think it's going to be really emotional, which is scary. The Rivals series, I think this one was a spinoff of the Dare one, or is it a different series? I'm not sure. I read 3 of those, like back to back to back back, and then I was like, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. And I stopped. It's fine. The Vancouver Agitators series. This one's also by Megan Quinn. And I started it last year. Kiss and Don't Tell, I had a blast with. It is a hockey player. His name is Pacey. We love to see it. It was great. Always a fun time. Hawthorne Vines, as far as I know, there's no book 3 release information yet, but it's not labeled as like a duet. So I don't have any information for book 3. But I don't know that it's a finished series yet. So we'll see if we get any information from Meredith Wild and or Jillian Leota, if that series will be continuing in the future. But I've read everything up to now, so go me. Love on Thin Ice. This is a clean hockey romance series. I got the entire series as arcs, and I have read the first book, and I have not continued any of them. So good job, Jess. The Ghosted series, I read Ghosted last year because I got the arc of Wished, and I had a great freaking time. But then my friend said that she read book 2 and she didn't love book 2, and so I've been dragging my feet on reading book 2, and I need to just read book 2. It'll be fine. The Wickedly Psychos collection, the first book is called Wickedly Sweet. It is labeled as a series, but there's no information again about a sequel. So it is on my series tracker, but I don't know that there is actually going to be a sequel, for being honest, but we'll see. This is very annoying. I'm sorry. I need to move this. There we go. Next is the Love on the Edge series. The first book was Edge of Chaos. This was also an arc that I got, I think. Pretty sure. And the author and the publisher have pulled all of the books for like a revamp, and so technically all of these books were released at one point, but they're not available right now. So they are technically all unreleased, but hopefully we'll get some information about book 2's re-release this year. Holiday Hedonism, Back for Seconds was like a Thanksgiving disaster. But we'll see how the rest of them go. It'll be fine. I've got lots of those. Devil's Playground, I read The Devil last year. The Devil's Advocate, I haven't read yet. We'll see. That is just a duet. Next, we have the Cat and Mouse duet, but I do also have Satan's Affair lumped in there because it is technically a prequel, but I have not read Haunting or Hunting Adeline yet. I know, it's bad. Next, we have the East Coast series, which is a hockey series by Kristen Granada. I read Heart Trick last year. Odd Man Rush, Puck Pact, and Ice Rivals, which are the next books in the series, are all thruples of some kind. And so that's interesting, but book 1 is just MF. Next, we have the Little Things series by Kelsey Ray. I read A Little Complicated last year. It became my entire personality. I'm currently rereading A Little Complicated, and then I'm going to continue in the series. This does follow the kids from her Don't Let Me series, but I'm actually enjoying this spin-off series a little bit better, which makes sense because it came out after the other one, so her writing's always improving. But we have A Little Broken, which comes out this month, and then A Little Crush, which is releasing later this year, and that, as far as I know, will be the final book in the series. Then we have the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams. We're almost to the end. Y'all are great. If you're tired, I'm also tired. It's fine. We have the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams. I read When in Rome last year, and I still have Practice Makes Perfect and Beg, Borrow, Steal. The series follows siblings in the town of Rome, Kentucky. Small town, clean, but I have heard that the third book has a little spice in it, so I'm curious to see Sarah Adams do some spice, because that's not her vibe. Guy in Real Life. This is about girl gamers. My husband is a gamer, so gamer romances. If you have recommendations, hit them down below because I love reading gamer romances. But this one is about girls that are gamers. I read Programmer's Aim last year, and then Aim Assist is the second book in the series. And as far as I can tell, it's just a duology. Next, we have the Under the Mistletoe collection. This was like an Amazon release. I read the first 3 but didn't get to the last 2 last Christmas, so I have those on my list. And then we have the Savage Kings MC South Carolina series, which I also started last year with Roman. And then we have the series that I've started this year. Look at them all. They're so pretty. The Celestial Witches, the first book that I read in 2024, which was the Maricheks, and I had a freaking great time with it. The Fang Arrangement comes out later this year, 2025. I also started Assistant to the Villain this year. Apprentice to the Villain is out. Accomplice to the Villain, I believe, comes out in 2025 as well. And book 4 does not have a title yet. I also started the Never After series by Jamie McIntyre. I think, no. Yeah, Jamie McGuire, I think, is the Beautiful series. And then Jamie McGuire is the Never After. I don't know. Hooked. You know. You've seen it before. As far as I know right now, there might be another book because I believe Hexed came out last year. So I don't know that the series is completed yet, but we'll see. I also started the Windy City series, and that one does have a release coming later this year, Rewind It Back, which is book 5. I started the Campus Tales series, which is by QB Tyler. The first book, first semester, I read last month, and it is a trilogy. And then I started the Chestnut Springs series, starting my whole cowboy vibe. I read Flawless and have the rest of the series, and that one is a completed series. She's already started another series. I also have a couple series down here that I intended to start and then didn't finish the first book, so I didn't want to remove them because I had already formatted them and everything, but they're just at the bottom because I haven't actually read them yet. Okay. Woo! That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Yay for us. We made it through all 91 series that I'm currently reading. I'm curious if you want to share your number down below of how many series you're currently in the middle of. I would love to know. And if you have one of your favorite series on the list that I just shared, please let me know if there's a series that I should prioritize for 2025. I do have a series coming in the future where I try and finish the series that I am in the middle of. So definitely make sure you're subscribed if you're not already so that you can see what series I actually finish in 2025. And hopefully the number will go back down because it was 87 and now it's 91 and fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. So let me know down below what your favorite series was if you saw it on this list, or let me know a series maybe I need to add that I can binge. Must be bingeable. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.